If there's one bike that's on just about every single Fixie's rider's list of dream bikes, it'd be the Cannondale Track. Countlessly copied but never duplicated, the Cannondale Track in its austere simplicity that exudes quality in every facet has ascended to become the holy trifecta of track bikes, being masterfully designed, exquisitely handmade, and of course, rare for bonus Fixie points. For Eric from the YouTube channel Corner Balanced, check him out if you like to have fun on both 2 wheels and 4 wheels, the Fixie dream became a reality with his dope 1992 Cannondale Track build. Now let's take a peek at what exactly makes the Cannondale Track so dang special in this Fixed Gear bike check. Speaking of special bikes, a portion of this video was sponsored by Wabi Cycles. To learn more about my own personal bike that I ride on a daily basis, be sure to stick around until the end of the video to learn more about them. About 58% of you watching this video right now aren't actually subscribed to the channel, so if you find that you like this video, do yourself a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and the bell icon so you can watch more Fixed Gear videos just like this one. Subscribing is totally free, and you can unsubscribe at any time. From Cannondale's glory days in the 90s came perhaps the most iconic, and certainly the most copied, track bike of all time. The minimalist, yet unmistakable 1992 Cannondale Track. From its tight traditional track geometry, ultra-oversized 6061 aluminum tubing, short head tube for a slightly negative sloping top tube yielding an aggressive sprinter stance, tied up beautifully with smooth welds, a rarity for the time, a 1-inch threaded, undrilled Tongay steel fork, a relic from an era before carbon fiber, lovingly handmade in the USA and gloriously finished in Cannondale's dapper and distinct metallic blue. It's easy to see why this vintage track bike has amassed a cult following. Judging from the Cannondale Track specs, it likely rides incredibly stiffly and aggressively with its well-endowed tubing. The down tube measures in at a whopping 2 inches in diameter, for crying out loud, and angles that are steep enough that just looking at the geometry chart is enough to make your back hurt. Especially for its time, the 92 Cannondale Track boldly pushed the boundaries for what an aluminum bike can and should be. And perhaps it's that self-assured philosophy that went into designing it that makes everyone that throws a leg over it immediately fall in love with its ride, its charm, its mystique. Or maybe it just looks hella cool and hipsters like us just like things that look really cool, especially ones that are ultra rare. Up at the head of Eric's period correct dream build, we have the stock Superb Pro headset, as a Cannondale Track used to come as a complete, appropriately spec'd with Suntour's NJS offerings. Steering the bike is a set of Nitto risers finished with strong V grips. That sounds a lot funnier out loud. Stemming from a Nitto pearl, polished to an immaculate sheen, without a micro scratch in sight. The saddle is a Sella Italia Flight Evolution 2 carbon Kevlar saddle to maximize the bike's potential as a conversation piece. The saddle sits gallantly on top of a period-correct Suntour Superb Pro seat post that's so rare I didn't even know that they existed. And it surely makes your Thompson Elite look like a spare seat post that you pulled out of the parts bin with your greasy hands. Pedaling the bike is a set of Shimano SPDs to fully appreciate the build's stiffness and power transfer capabilities. The cranks are the NJS cranks that even put my beloved Sagino 75s to shame, Suntour Superb Pros that are somehow in better condition than my 75s that I bought less than a year ago, despite these being discontinued in decades past. The cranks are even kept with the period-correct Suntour dust cover. This bike has so many Fixie points that even the bottom bracket that nobody ever sees is the period-correct stock Suntour Superb Pro. For the gearing, we have the matching Superb Pro ring in a whopping 51 tooth, paired with an EAI Superstar cog fixed with a Suntour lock ring. The drivetrain is linked together with a DID Racing Pro NJS chain to ensure that these drivetrain pieces that honestly kind of belong in a museum rather on a bike that someone rides, as buttery smooth as possible for years to come. The wheels are Piani carbon Kevlar wheels, echoing the carbon Kevlar motif of the saddle for respectable weight savings on this beast of a bike. The rims are laced to, of course, Suntour Superb Pro hubs in 20-hole drilling, completing the entirety of the Suntour kits found on the original complete Cannondale tracks of the 90s. And the wheels roll on Hutchinson Tempo tubular tires for old-school, high-pressure riding. The Cannondale Track is the holy grail of fixed gears, and it's only becoming more rare with time. But the fact that Eric's Cannondale Track is in such pristine condition and built with period-correct parts that are in equally spotless condition makes this build all the more impressive. It makes me think that this man has an actual time machine to make this build possible. May fixed gear history and hipster inclinations be preserved through more builds like this one. If you want to have your fixed gear featured in this weekly bike check series, check out the instructions in the description, and please be sure to follow them carefully, because if you don't, then we can't make the bike check and it kind of sucks. Speaking of bikes you should check out, this portion of the video is sponsored by Wabi Cycles. Every one of Wabi's design choices are meticulously made to give the purest ride quality for the money, and Wabi executes those choices perfectly with their bikes handmade by master craftsmen in Taiwan, and a friendly bike shop in Denver, Colorado that's eager to answer your questions and get you on a bike you'll love. Wabi's relentless attention to detail results in Wallace, my 58cm Wabi Special, weighing in at a grand total of 17.5 pounds straight out of the box. That's well under 20 pounds for a stock bike with completely steel, lugged frame set, and no carbon components. And that weight isn't just for quoting and impressing other cyclists though, it results in the best riding experience that I've ever had, with a snappy and lively ride quality that only top tier steel can bring. That pure fun makes it easy for me to ride my Wabi Special as my only bike. If you're looking for a bike that puts an end to your search for the perfect bike, consider checking out Wabi Cycles linked at the top of the description, as it really is the closest thing that I've ridden to a perfect bike. And Fixie famous shoutouts to Stand Strong 108, Ryan Witt, Julian Corona, Eric Avalo, Gio Dezera, and Zane Kolnick for helping to make these videos possible through their support on Patreon. And life is short, but don't make it shorter, so be sure to ride your bike every day to be reasonably dangerous.